Good day, everyone. For today, our topic is about elements of effective communication. So, before we begin, I'd like you to think of the last time you explained something, but the other person completely misunderstood you. Guys, we communicate every single day, right? Yet, through understanding, is surprisingly rare. Sometimes people could not even understand what we are saying. So, communication is not just about the words we speak, and active listening also. Today, we are going to break down the elements of effective communication. So, what are these elements of effective communication? We have to explore how can reach that gap, or how can we reach that gap and minimize misunderstanding and ensure our messages truly resonate and could really be understood by those people who will, of course, we we mingle with them. Okay, so can they understand us? So how? So I hope this the big elements of effective communication can help you. So welcome to today's session on the elements of effective communication. So in both academic setting and our everyday professional lives, the ability for us to convey ideas and clearly and persuasively is one of our most critical skills. It is in this presentation, guys, we will dissect the core components of the communication process from encoding and decoding to navigating barriers and feedback loops. Okay, but we will be dealing first with the elements of effective communication. Okay, so I hope you will be listening as I discuss the different elements of effective communication. So let me have the slide for you. Okay, okay, what happened? Stop. Okay, wait. Let me go back. Okay. So the first one element of communication is what we call, okay, wait for a while, guys. Okay. So before going to that one, let us have first this one. It says there in the slide, effective communication is a two-way process that requires a clear message and an appropriate medium and mutual understanding between parties. So let us underscore that communication is a two-way process that involves both sending and receiving messages. So what do we mean when we say this? No, communication is a two-way process that involves both sending and receiving messages. So many people, guys, treat communication as a megaphone. So they focus entirely on sending, speaking, writing, and presenting, and forget that the process is incomplete without receiving. This time, listening, reading, and interpreting. So if a sender speaks, but no one listens or understands, communication has not actually occurred. It was just noise. It requires a continuous loop of action and reaction. Okay, guys? So actually, okay, the thought, the idea, or information must be coherent and um, unambitious, or I mean, unambiguous, no? Before it is even transmitted. So if the sender's thoughts are disorganized, for example, the output will be confusing. Clarity requires knowing your objective and your audience. That's why we have here clarity. Okay. What does it mean? Clarity, as you could read this one here on this on our screen. Focus on a single clear goal or message at a time. Avoid jargon and use plain language so the recipient doesn't have to read between the lines. So it says there, your thought, your idea, or information must be coherent and unambiguous. It should be clear enough, guys, because clarity requires knowing your objective and your audience. Okay? It also says there that the medium of channel, okay, take note that the medium of channel or the medium or the channel is how the message travels. Choosing the wrong medium can distort a message. So if the medium is wrong, definitely it will not give you a clear message. A complex legal or academic critique is best handled in writing or structured meeting, whereas a quick, urgent update might only need a short text. That's why it should be clear enough when you send your message. Okay? So, why is it two-way? As we look at the slide, going back to the slide where it says there two-way, it appears that both definitions for a reason. True communication is never a monologue. It is a dialogue. First, the message must be crystal clear. Then second, you must choose the right medium because sending a sensitive critique over a quick text message introduce unnecessary noise, whereas a face-to-face conversation provides tone and context. So finally, the ultimate benchmark of communication, therefore, is mutual understanding. Why? Because success is not measured by how much the sender spoke. It is measured by how accurately the receiver understood the message. Okay. Here I place their clarity. So what does it mean when we say clarity? Okay. Communication, take note guys. Communication fails when a speaker tries to accomplish too much simultaneously, overloading single explanation, lecture, or paragraph with multiple competing objectives causes cognitive fatigue for the receiver. So to ensure clarity, guys, a communicator must establish a dominant thesis or a singular core takeaway before presenting. If you have three distinct points to make, they should be sequenced systematically rather than bundled into a single confusing statement. One message, guys, at a time keeps the listeners focused locked on the objective. We say there avoid jargon. Okay? Jargon, guys, consists of specialized terminology used by a specific group or profession. So these are highly technical, legal, medical, or academic terms. So while useful among peers, it acts as a barrier also when communicating outside that specific circle. So take note of that. So you have to consider your audience. You should not be using jargon if your audience could not understand these terminologies. Okay, next. So if the audience, for example, if an audience is left guessing what the speaker actually meant, the communication has broken down. So effective communication leaves zero room for assumptions because it is direct, transparent, and precise, meaning the literal interpretation matches the intended operational outcome exactly. Okay, so take note of that. Next, we have conciseness. It says there, stick to the point and keep it brief. Avoid unnecessary filler words. Respecting the receiver's time makes them more likely to engage with message. So take note of conciseness. Conciseness, guys, is about maximizing impact using the fewest words possible without sacrificing the substance of the message. It requires precision and discipline. Okay, take note, guys. Many people confuse being detailed with being thorough. In reality, guys, take note na, in reality, over explaining often dilutes the core meaning or core message. So sticking to the point means identifying the absolute essence of what needs to be conveyed, only those important things only, no, guys, and removing others' thoughts that would distract you from your main goal. Okay, that's it. Next, let's have concreteness. Okay, what does it mean when we speak of concreteness? It says there, use specific facts, data, and vivid details rather than abstract ideas. This misinterpretation proof your message. So, abstract ideas, guys, are open to subjective interpretation. For example, or for instance, words like soon, substantial progress. High quality or bad performance mean completely different things to different people. Concreteness anchors the message to objective reality. So to practice concreteness, guys, a communicator must trade generalization for precision. Instead of saying, we saw a massive increase in student performance, for example, a concrete communicator would say, student test scores increased by 18% in the second semester. So there is an exact one that is 18%. Okay, were you able to get that, guys? I hope so. So take note, misinterpretation proof your message. So when a message is abstract, guys, the receiver has to construct their own meaning to fill in the gaps, which often leads to mistakes, faulty assumptions, or legal and operational fiction, or I mean, operational friction. So there will be misunderstanding. Okay, so misinterpretation guides proving misinterpretation proofing means narrowing the margin of error to zero. So when you back up your statements with tangible proof, should be precise definitions or specific metrics. You leave no room for debate or no room for the audience to think, okay, to think or to twist. No room for the audience to leave or to twist or misread or for any debate on the things, what of the things that you are delivering. So it builds massive professional credibility because concrete data cannot be easily dismissed or argued against because that's a fact. You have a concrete data of what you are saying. Okay. So there's no debate on it because you are presenting a correct data. Okay. Next, because it's a factual accuracy. It has a factual accuracy. So what do I mean? Factual accuracy is non-negotiable. Whether you are citing figures, representing data, or laying out a logical argument, the underlying information must be true and verified. Okay, because of what I've said there, concreteness. It is based on factual. It is based on true data, guys. Okay. Next, let's have correctness. Okay, what is this correctness all about? Correctness ensure your facts are accurate, your timing is appropriate, and your grammar spelling is clean. Errors distract from your core message and can diminish your credibility. Okay, so that is about correctness. Okay, in addition to this, guys, information without context is often useless or easily misconstrued. Completeness requires a communicator to step to the shoes of the receiver and consider what baseline background is required to make sense of the data. So when we communicate, guys, we often suffer from poor self-knowledge. So assuming the other person knows what we know, a complete message proactively provides the who, what, when, why, and how. So the recipient doesn't have to waste time sending follow-up questions just to understand the foundational landscape. Next one is what we call consideration. It says there, mind your audience, tailor your tone, vocabulary, and delivery to their background, mindset, and current needs. So we have here consideration. Okay, consideration. So you also have to put yourself in the shoes of the other because we have to empathize. Okay, so what is this empathy? It requires looking at the scenario from the listener's viewpoint. When a speaker actually, guys, anticipate how their words might affect someone emotionally or professionally, they can shape their delivery to be supportive rather than uh, confrontational. Okay, so that's it, guys. That is about consideration. Next, we have, I think this is the last one, completeness. Okay, what is this completeness all about? Completeness give the recipient all the information they need to understand the context or action. A complete message includes a clear call to action if a next step is required. Okay, so completeness. So take note, guys. No, while the previous principles focused heavily on the structural and technical mechanics of a message, its clarity, correctness, and completeness, courtesy also, no, focuses on entirely on the tone and attitude of the communicator. So you have to be courteous also in speaking. Okay, that is courtesy. Be sincere, respectful, and empathic. Courteous communication builds trust and strengthens relationships even during difficult conversation. So, meaning to say, courtesy goes far beyond basic politeness or simply saying please and thank you. True courtesy requires an authentic, human centered approach to interaction. So, you may have sincerity, respect, empathy in dealing with the audience. Be sincere. So, audiences can easily actually spot performative politeness. So, because sincerity means your message is genuine and free from hidden agendas or passive aggressive tone. Okay, so take note, you also need to respect your audience. At the same time, empathize with them. Okay, so that's it, guys. I hope you learned something today about the elements of effective communication. Okay, next time around, we will be discussing a lot of things. So for today, we'll just be having these elements of effective communication. Bye, guys.